Welcome to today's Explainer. Look, if you're a parent, a teacher, or honestly just someone who cares about the next generation, you're going to want to pay super close attention today. We are unpacking a massive systemic health crisis that's literally unfolding right in front of us. I'm talking about the staggering rise of childhood obesity in India. And, well, this isn't just a simple case of kids eating a few too many sweets. It is a critical, ticking time bomb that's threatening their physical health, their emotional well-being, and really our collective future. Okay, let's dive right into our roadmap for today. We've got 6 key areas to hit. First, defining the crisis. Second, India's junk food shift. Third, the screen time trap. Fourth, the financial and emotional costs. Fifth, social stigma in schools. And lastly, smart habits for families.
All right, Section 1, defining the crisis. Before we figure out how we got here, it's absolutely crucial we get our facts straight on what we're actually talking about. People throw around the words overweight and obese like they mean the exact same thing, but medically, they really don't. Being overweight simply means a person's weight is above the so-called normal range. Actually, scratch that. It could even just be from having really dense muscle mass or heavy bones. Obesity, on the other hand, is a very specific medical condition. It happens when excess fat accumulation hits a tipping point where it becomes fundamentally dangerous to a person's health, skyrocketing the risk for serious stuff like diabetes, hypertension, and heart disease.
Now, to measure this, doctors usually use BMI, or body mass index. It's basically a math equation, your weight divided by your height. Generally, a BMI between 25 and 30 is considered overweight, and anything over 30 is classified as obese. But here's the massive catch for us. BMI has some serious limitations for Indian populations. You see, it was originally created based on Western body types, so it's just kind of clunky and much less accurate for Indian genetics. And when we're talking about kids, no way can we just use adult math. We absolutely have to factor in their specific age. So, while BMI is a common starting point, it is definitely not the whole story for our kids.
Moving on to Section 2, India's junk food shift. To really understand this shift, we have to travel back in time a bit, because seeing this as a giant systemic puzzle helps us stop just blaming individuals and start focusing on real solutions. Think about 1947. Right after independence, India's main health mission was, obviously, fighting severe hunger and malnutrition. But as the economy grew into the 1980s, we started seeing the very first warning signs of obesity. Then, 1991 happened. Market liberalization. We opened the economic floodgates, and massive global processed food companies just rushed into the country. Suddenly, an entire generation raised on healthy, home-cooked dal, chawal, and roti was getting completely bombarded with highly processed burgers, chips, and sugary sodas. The whole environment basically changed overnight.
And this brilliantly illustrates the result of that massive environmental shift, 14.4 million. India is now the second largest country in the world for obese children. 14.4 million kids currently affected. That is a jaw-dropping leap from where we were just a couple of decades ago. And it really shows just how utterly vulnerable our kids are to this modern food landscape.
Section 3, the screen time trap.
Okay, prepare yourself, because this statistic is truly staggering. According to a study out of the UK, just 1 extra hour of weekend TV for a 5-year-old increases their risk of adult obesity by 7%. I mean, think about the gravity of that for a second. Just 1 single extra hour of watching cartoons on a Saturday or Sunday can fundamentally alter a child's health trajectory well into their adult years.
So why does this happen? Well, a 2017 study from the American Academy of Pediatrics breaks down this vicious chain reaction. It's not just about sitting on the couch. When kids, especially the ones with a TV right in their bedroom, get sucked into prolonged screen time, it triggers continuous, mindless snacking. The research shows these kids eat way fewer vegetables, they chug far more sugary drinks, and late-night scrolling, it completely ruins their sleep cycles, which is directly tied to gaining weight. Screens aren't just an innocent distraction, they are literally an active catalyst for obesity.
Section 4, financial and emotional costs.
Let's zoom out and look at the national scale for a minute. $23.2 billion. That is the massive, crushing annual economic burden that obesity puts on India right now. $23.2 billion. And frankly, it gets worse. Projections show that if we don't hit the brakes, this could skyrocket to $400 billion by 2035. To put that in perspective, that would place India third globally, right behind the US and China for the economic fallout of this health crisis.
Section 5, social stigma in schools.
Now for the teachers and parents listening, we need to shift gears and approach this with some deep empathy.
We have to look at the micro-reality of how this impacts kids emotionally, every single day. And the emotional toll? It is absolutely devastating. Kids struggling with their weight deal with constant bullying and just incredibly cruel nicknames from other kids. As educators and parents, we have to realize this isn't just kids being kids or harmless teasing. This social stigma leads directly to plummeting self-esteem, severe anxiety, and really dark depression. School is supposed to be a safe haven, right? But for an obese child, it can feel like a daily trauma that ruins their academic growth and even their future job prospects.
There's a quote from the source material that hits the nail on the head. This societal stigma directly impacts life, leading to low self-esteem, mood disorders, and anxiety. We've even seen this painful reality portrayed in movies like Dumlagake Haisha, which brilliantly captured the immense emotional weight of navigating a society that constantly, relentlessly judges you for your size. Teachers, parents, recognizing this emotional toll in your classrooms and living rooms is just as vital as checking their physical health. We have to have their backs mentally, for sure.
Section 6. Smart Habits for Families.
Now, what's really interesting here is the stark contrast between our modern conveniences and traditional, healthier habits. Think about those predatory food delivery apps on your phone right now. They use aggressive push notifications and those tempting buy one, get one discounts just to trigger impulse eating, even when we're not actually hungry. Plus, they completely eliminate the need to even step outside and walk. We've got to swap that out for intentional shopping. And by that, I mean physically walking to the local market, fighting off those impulse buys, and being super conscious about what we bring into our kitchens. A massive game changer for intentional shopping is front of pack, or FOP, labeling. Imagine a clear, bold warning system slapped right on the front of a food package that immediately tells you, hey, this is packed with sugar, sodium, or saturated fats. Chile actually passed an incredibly successful FOP law back in 2012. By putting strict warnings on packaging and flat-out banning junk food ads targeted at kids, Chile dropped the purchase of high-sugar drinks by nearly 24%. It's amazing what happens when you instantly empower people to make informed choices.
But, since we don't have widespread FOP labeling everywhere just yet, here is a super practical, step-by-step game plan for your family this week. Step 1. Delete or severely limit those quick delivery apps. Force yourself to stop impulse buying and get those daily steps back in. Step 2. Become your own label detective at the grocery store. Actively hunt down those hidden sugars and unhealthy fats. Be your own FOP warning system. And Step 3. Make a firm rule to choose the stairs over elevators and escalators. It sounds small, but you have to actively replace sitting around with simple daily physical movement.
We've covered a tremendous amount of ground in this explainer today, from the historical roots of our junk food shift to the heartbreaking emotional toll it takes on kids in school. So, what does this all mean? Well, I want to leave you with one final provocative question. Will we change our habits today, or will we pass this massive health crisis on to the next generation? Look, the environment around us has undeniably changed, but taking collective responsibility and changing our daily choices right now, that is exactly what's going to shape the future. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I really hope you leave feeling totally empowered to take action in your homes and your classrooms.